Good evening, Troy High School. Welcome to Troy High. We have a couple people coming in a little bit still, but we're going to get started. We know that time is precious, and you guys have other plans, I'm sure, and pickups and drop-offs and all the exciting things that you get to do as a parent. So welcome to Troy High. My name is Ray Moranconi. I'm principal here at Troy High School. I've been honored to be here for over 20 years now, and Troy High is a really special place to me, and I hope to make it a special place for you. We have a lot of first-timers in the room. If I could get a real quick show of hands, I want to see who our audience is. First-time crew? Awesome. So I know you guys right now are probably more nervous than your children. Like for them, next fall is forever away. For you, it seems like tomorrow. So I get it. I'm a parent myself. I've got a class of 2031. You guys are class of 30. So close in age, and I understand what you're going through. I also have 3 older children, a college-age student, and 2 high schoolers myself. So not only as principal, but I get what you're going through as a parent. I understand the journey when I was sitting as a parent for the first time, like you. And then also, we've got some returning parents, right? Returning parents, show of hands. We got some people coming back. So for you guys, please help the person that raised their hand first and encourage them that it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this together. Again, this transition to high school is a big one, but we can definitely help you do that. So tonight we're going to get started with, again, that first contact. And for you returning parents, there's some new information here too, but you can kind of sit back and relax a little bit more. Also for your pleasure and enjoyment here, especially those in the back row, because we have a lot of people in the back row. You're just like the kids, not as much up front. Sit in the back. All right, I wonder where they learned that from. So you can click on the QR code. That will actually put the presentation on your phone if you would like, or you can just sit back and relax and enjoy the information that we're going to have tonight. So tonight is, again, parent-focused, curriculum night, all this information so you and your children can make those curricular decisions. And then in May, we're going to invite you all back here. You're going to hear from me and some others. For parents, you're going to be in this room for about an hour while your kids are getting a student-centered presentation in the gymnasium and throughout the building. So that event in May, that's when it really starts to feel real that you're going to have a high schooler or another high schooler for some of you. So that event on May 12th is, again, for both. Tonight, again, parents, we're just talking and getting you guys comfortable with this process. We're here to answer questions, ease that tension, and make that transition for this class of 2030 as smooth as possible. So, without any further ado, again, super excited to be here at one of the very best high schools in the state of Michigan, something that we're really proud of. We want to keep going and shooting for number 1 here. It's really, really important that we do the very best we can in the time that we have. 4 years will go fast. Trust me. So without any further ado, we're going to have our counseling team take it away. Ms. Hauberg Emma is going to get us going. So without that, welcome to Troy High. I'm actually going to go out to Athens versus Troy High, which is happening right now in basketball, district playoffs at Athens. So there's something every night of the week. The excitement of high school, there's always something you can do and watch and see. So I'm going to go support our basketball team, and our counselors are going to take away the event. And we will see you on May 12th. Excited for that. Have a great evening, and go Colts.
Thank you, Mr. Ronconi. Yeah, so welcome to Curriculum Night. We're going to go over high school curriculum and the scheduling process tonight. One last time, the QR code down here for the slides if you want to follow along with us. So we're doing something new this year. We are front-loading the parents with Curriculum Night before we meet with the students. In the past, we've done that after we presented to the 8th graders. This year, we are here. We're going to share all of our information with you tonight. And then tomorrow and Friday, we will be going to the middle schools and sharing with the students the same information. So that's happening tomorrow and Friday. Power Scheduler opens tonight. There is no expectation that you would go home tonight, put in any course requests. Power Scheduler is going to be open until May 4th. It is not a first come, first serve process. It is, get that draft in, and then we will meet with the students one-on-one next Thursday and Friday, and answer any questions, review those course requests with them, and then make that final. When we meet with the students, that is a great time to send any questions that you have for us. have them write it down. We are happy to answer all those questions when we're going over those course requests. I forgot to mention that we are recording our presentation tonight, and that will, so you can review all this information again too when you're meeting with, as a family to talk about course requests. We also really recommend before the 4th that you consult with your current 8th grade teachers for your student and get some teacher recommendations on what courses will be the best fit for them. All right, so we are so excited to have all of your students join us as Colts next year at Troy High School. Just to introduce our counseling team, I'm Ms. Hallberg. We have in the back of this picture, Mr. Lee, Mr. Ali Ahmed, Mr. Keegan. Then starting over here on the left, Ms. Frett, Ms. Sobzinski, me again, and Ms. Bigelow. As their high school counselor, we'll be working with them on academics, college and career, social emotional. We can really be that one-stop shop for any questions that they have, anything that they'll need throughout their 4 years at Troy High. For the rest of this school year, their middle school counselor is still their go-to resource. They know just as much about the 9th grade transition to high school as we do. They are experts as much as we are. So going to them for any questions that you have throughout the rest of this school year is still a great resource, but we're also happy to help if you have any questions.
And real quick, sorry,
Yeah.
2 more introductions because I know we're also leaving, but we have 2 assistant principals here tonight, Miss Brennan, and she is, again, going to be at that next event too, and Miss Allgaier. So, again, our office team is all here to help. We're super excited, and power in numbers, something real great for this class, 20 to 30. It's going to be our largest class in the school, over 530 some students. Again, so you guys are coming in at a big number. We're excited to have that, and about 2,040 kids next year at Troy High School. So you are part of the biggest class next year at Troy High, so thank you for bringing all these amazing children to us. All right, so take it away, and we're going to head over and root on our Colts.
All right. So 8th grade is still super important. This is the year that they're learning so many of those important good student skills that will make them successful in high school. So tomorrow we'll be echoing the same message, but finish 8th grade strong. It's super important, just as important as high school is. All right, so high school curriculum. Anything high school curriculum, any questions that you have, descriptions of all of the classes, course offerings, any graduation requirements, flowcharts of the orders of classes, those are all in our course description book, which can be found at this link. You will have access to this through the PowerPoint. It'll also be on the planning guide that your student brings home with them tomorrow or Friday. On the course description book, which is found in the high school scheduling hub, which is on the Troy School District website. All right, so in high school, you have to have a certain amount of credits to graduate. At Troy High, that magic number is 22 and a half. You need 60% or higher to earn credit in a class. So a D minus 60%. You get half a credit each semester for each class. So at Troy High School, we have 6 classes in the student's schedule per semester. So that is 3 credits per semester. For a full year class, they're earning 1 credit for that course. So if you see a course say 1.0 credit, that's a full year course. 0.5 credit is a semester course. So over 4 years, 6 credits per year, that's 24 credits total. That leaves a little bit of room for them to take other classes of interest, not one of the designated graduation requirements, or just an opportunity for them to learn and grow as students and choose what they're interested in. All right, these are our graduation requirements. This is very overwhelming of a list. You are going to get a printed copy in that planning guide that your student brings home on Thursday or Friday. So you can look at this in more detail, but Mr. Lee is now gonna walk through the 9th grade graduation requirements and kind of courses a typical 9th grader would take.
Awesome, thank you, Ms. Hallberg. All right, so our planning guide, as Ms. Hallberg mentioned, your students will be receiving the planning guide by the end of this week. They will receive a paper handout, but we also have a digital copy on our website as well. You can find that on our Troy Colts website under the high school scheduling hub. So students will refer to their course planning guide to guide them through the course selection process. They will select their core academic courses first. So those core academic courses are here on your left: English, math, science, social studies, and world language. Students will also select at least 3 alternate elective courses totaling 1.5 credits. The grand total of credits must equate to 6 credits. This first one is fairly easy. All students will take English 9. So for the full year, students will be in English 9, Semester 1, and Semester 2. For social studies, students must complete World History Geography 1 for a half credit 1 semester course. Their other option is AP Human Geography for a full year 1 credit course. This is one of the first AP courses available to high school students. Our AP courses are considered some of our most demanding, rigorous courses available to students. So those students, if they're considering AP Human Geography 1, we recommend that they speak with their teacher, have that discussion to determine if this is an appropriate fit for them. Those students should also have great time management skills, studying habits, be able to work independently, think critically, be prepared for AP level rigor. For another instance, AP courses typically demand 1 to 3 hours of study on a daily basis, so something to consider. It's important to note that AP Human Geography only counts for World History Geography 1 grad requirement. Our students will take World History Geography 2 during their senior year. For sciences, students will take biology for semester 1 and 2. If you look on the planning guide when you see it, or the course catalog, you'll also find additional science course options as well. You can refer to the course catalog for more information. For mathematics, we have these lovely flowcharts to determine the sequence for math courses. If your student is currently in Math 8, they will move on to Algebra 1 in high school. If your student is currently in Honors Algebra 1, they will have the option to choose either Geometry or Honors Geometry. Both pathways will be able to allow students to take calculus in the future. Some of you may have heard that we have a new course coming, AP Pre-Calculus. So this would affect our current Honors, Algebra 2 Honors students. We encourage those students to have that discussion with their teacher as well to determine what will be the best placement for their next math class. For world languages, there's a 2 credit requirement in the state of Michigan. Most of our 9th graders will elect to take a world language in 9th grade. We offer French, German, Spanish, Japanese, and Chinese. So for the 2 credit requirement, there is an additional option to fulfill that 2nd credit of world language. All students are required to take 1 credit of a VPAA, which is a Visual Performing or Applied Arts class. If they do an additional Visual Performing or Applied Arts class, they can fulfill that 2nd credit of world language. Again, I'll say most of our students will take at least 2 or more years of world language. For health, we highly recommend that all students take health as a 9th grade freshman class. Physical education. So students will take either Intro to Physical Activity 1 or Intro to Physical Activity 2, not both, during high school. So the difference between the two, Physical Activity 2 is designed for the more competitive student in both team and individual sports. Again, we can't say this enough, they will not take both, so they will take one or the other. Lastly, our VPA courses includes our electives, so art classes such as drawing, ceramics, photography, painting. We offer business courses. We also offer our year-long industrial technology courses such as advanced manufacturing and engineering, woodworking, and automotive technology. We also have life skills courses such as our foods and culture class, which students really enjoy. They enjoy learning how to cook, how to bake. We also have fashion design. Students can learn how to sew. We also have essential skills for adulthood and more. For our musicians, we have band, orchestra, and choir for vocalists. And for performing arts, we have theater courses. As you can see here, we have a sample student schedule. On the top left here, you'll see that the first column determines the class period. The second column is the term divided by semester 1 or 2. We have the course name in the middle here, teacher name, and room number. So students will receive their printed student schedule in August, just in time for orientation. I believe we'll be talking about alternates next.
Sure, thanks, Mr. Lee. So we try to make things really, really easy for families. Like Mr. Lee said, tomorrow you're getting that planning guide. It will have the complete list of graduation requirements, the complete list of all classes available to 9th grade students, and the required ones are in bold. So we make that pretty easy for students. After they go through and select all of their core academics, and then the electives that they know they want to take, they're going to total those up to 6 credits. We have 6 class periods in a day, so students take 6 credits each year. If there's another class that they really, really, really want to take, and they want to take a 7th class, they cannot. We go home after 6 hours. So they're gonna have to wait until the next year to take that class that they're excited about. And sometimes for freshmen, those of you who have older students, you know that just they get so excited because they get this giant list of all these amazing classes we offer at Troy High, and there are so many. And then they're stuck taking requirements, and then they kind of have to wait to take the really fun classes that they're excited about. And we understand that. So some of those might be coming later if they really wanted to take something and it didn't fit into their course requests for 9th grade. The way that our master schedule works is that we determine how many classes we run based on how many students sign up for them. So if 90 students signed up for painting, we would run 3 sections of painting. So that's why selecting courses are really important, because if a student changed their mind and wanted to take painting in the fall, we wouldn't have a seat for them. We reserve their seat through course requests, and that's how many sections we know how to run. Now, sometimes there are conflicts that are beyond a student's control. So if a student is in a class like freshman orchestra, that only runs 1 hour a day. And let's say that they really, really wanted to take a class, fashion design. Well, if fashion design only runs that same hour, they're not going to be able to take both. And they would take orchestra, and then they would get one of their alternate choices for their other elective. So the alternates are extremely important. Students, we do a great job. Almost everybody gets their first choices, but sometimes there's scheduling conflicts we can't do anything about. So students are also required to choose at least 3 alternates for elective courses. Not for the course. We never have a situation, there's no alternate for English. You're taking English 9. There's no alternate for math. Sorry, you have to take those cores, and students will get those classes. But for some of the elective classes, they have to have alternates, and they will take the alternates. The schedule will not work out all the time with all first choices. So students need to be willing to take the alternates. They can't just pick random things. They have to read the course description book, put thought into it, and pick classes that they would really be willing to take, that they would want to take in their alternates, because it is very likely that they would get those alternates in their schedule. If no alternate elective courses are selected, well, that's impossible because you have to in order to submit in PowerSchool. But if they were just chosen, like boop, 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 then students would get those. Some students try to do like a hack. Like they're like, okay, I really, really want to take drawing, so I'm going to put drawing on my course request, and then I'm going to put drawing as my alternate. That doesn't work. Drawing didn't fit in their schedule for some reason. So it doesn't up the chances that they're going to get drawing. It actually decreases the chances that they'll get a class they want to take. So they should select alternates that are similar, that they'd be interested in, because if they didn't get drawing the first time, it means that it didn't fit for some reason with their schedule. So it does not work. It is not a hack. Do not duplicate those course requests and put them in as alternates. On the planning guide that students get, this is a spot for students to write out their request, like a draft, so that they have all 6 semester 1 classes and semester 2 classes, and then a spot for alternates. So this will be coming home with them tomorrow as part of that planning guide for you to do some discussions and chatting as a family before their input into PowerSchool. Then comes the online scheduling. So the planning guide is not something that we collect. It is a great resource document. We love when students bring it to our individual counselor meetings that we have with them the following week, because they can write questions on it and bring questions from home, those types of things. But the course request must be submitted into PowerSchool. Every one of you should have a PowerSchool account, and you'll use the parent portal in order to input exactly what the student selected on the planning guide into PowerSchool. If you don't know your account information, or you have PowerSchool questions or tech difficulties, on the planning guide there's a QR code to the scheduling hub, and it will take you to this email support, PowerSchool email support, pssupport@troy.k12.mi.us. And remember, you already have access to these slides. So when you log into the parent portal, we will have directions for you step by step, trying to make it really easy. You'll click on class registration, and then the online selections we put right in order with the planning guide. So in the planning guide, the English department classes are first. So in PowerSchool, the English department classes are first. There might be a lot of classes listed. We include everyone in those English classes, so there will be classes that might not apply to your student, classes for students who are English language learners, who might be in a special education English class, but the directions are very simple. It will say select English for semester 1 and semester 2, and you'll select likely the bolded one. If we need to make any adjustments after the fact, then counselors can do that if it's for an ELD student or a special education student. One thing that I really, really want to stress is that we want this to be a really low stress thing. This is not first come, first serve. Do not go home and start inputting things into PowerSchool. This is not Ticketmaster. No worries, okay? So you have all of this time. This is not getting a spot in a class. This is for us to know how many students are signing up for each course, so we know how many courses to run, and we can do all those things behind the scenes before schedules are made in the summertime. So if you have tech difficulties, if PowerSchool just shuts down on the night before it's due, we don't want any 8th graders in tears, we don't need any parents worrying that we won't have a spot at Troy High for them next year. None of that will happen. It will be completely fine. All you'll do is have your student bring the paper planning guide to our individual counselor meetings with them when we come to their middle school, and we'll just input it for them, and it will be fine. So there is no need to rush or try to get things in early. It is not first come, first serve. So any tech difficulties, we don't anticipate any, but sometimes we can't control with PowerSchool. So hopefully it all just runs really smoothly for everyone. But if you have any difficulties at all, we're going to work with you. There's not going to be any catastrophe that will happen because of that. Next, summer school. Okay, I think it's very important that you hear this directly from the source. Students can and do graduate from Troy High School in 4 years without ever taking summer school. Students do not have to take summer school. Summer school is intended for credit recovery. So when a student fails a class and needs to recover credit in a graduation requirement, that's when we need students to take summer school. Now, we have really strong music and world language programs here at Troy High. So if a student is in band or orchestra or choir for all 4 years, and they're planning on a language for all 4 years, they might not be able to fit in all the requirements and all the fun electives that they want. And if that's the case, sometimes students do choose to take a class in summer school. If a student is not in band or orchestra for 4 years and not in a world language for 4 years, we would not recommend summer school for any classes. We want them having those experiences in seat. In fact, it will lessen the chances that they will get the classes that they want and apply to them as freshmen, because not every class is available to 9th graders. So sometimes we have students just randomly taking summer school because they think they have to or their friends are, and then they're like kind of stuck with whatever elective classes we have for them as freshmen the following year. Registration does open on April 6th. The classes are virtual. The district is using a new summer school online program this year called Subject. So they are not using Edgenuity anymore. So I don't have any information on that yet for you, but the courses that students take should not be included in the course requests. So let's say that a student is in band and they are also taking German all year and they are choosing to take health in summer school. Then they would not put health on the course request for the next year because they would have already taken it in the summer. So those are notes that we take as well when we go to the middle schools. So a student would write that on their planning guide, and then they'd come and tell me, I'd say, wait, it doesn't have health on your registration. And they would say, oh, I'm planning to do that in summer school. And then I would write that down and make sure that's not in their course requests. So any class that a student is planning on taking in summer school, Intro to PE, for example, if they're in a world language and band or orchestra, then we would not include that for the next year. And we would not include it in alternates either because they already took the class. Another thing we get quite a few questions about is test out. This is an option that very few students will do, a very small percentage. Test outs in our district are intended for students who already have a comprehensive understanding of the material. It's not for self-study. The biggest one that we see that's appropriate for 8th graders is world language. If a student speaks Spanish at home, Spanish 1 probably isn't the right placement for them. So they can show their mastery in a test out and earn credit and be placed in the next course, or use that hour to take something else that they want. So really, world language is like the only appropriate thing for most students, and that's if it's their heritage language. Registration opened on Monday, and it goes all the way through March 27th. That form is in PowerSchool, so I think you probably got that information from the middle schools as well. The math test out is held at the district level. The non-math test outs, so for 8th graders that would mean world language, those are held here at Troy High. When a family fills out the request for a test out through PowerSchool in forms, then you'll get an email back that says you'll be notified about the date, time, and location at the high school for that test out. This is a little different than summer school. If a student is testing out, let's use math as an example, they sign up to take a test out for geometry. We still put geometry on their course requests for now because they have not successfully completed the test out. Once students complete the test out, we get a list of those who passed, and those who pass, then we automatically make the change to their next course in sequence. So there's nothing that they would have to do there if they earned credit on the test out. Summer school is not great for advancement. That is not something we would recommend for courses in sequence. If a student completes a test out in a math course, then they probably have the foundation to move on to the next course in sequence. But for summer school, that's just not the intention, and we have found through data that our students who do math in summer school, because it's in sequence, are not as successful. So I'm gonna illustrate that in the next slide, talking about students who take math for advancement in summer school. Here are some student samples of transcripts for students, great students who took math in summer school for advancement. You'll see that all of them started out with really good grades in algebra. So here on the left, we have Algebra 1 Honors, an A-, which is a great grade. This student chose to do geometry in summer school, and then first semester had a D in Algebra 2 Honors. We were very lucky with this student that we could get a spot for them in regular Algebra 2 for the second semester. And they did get a better grade, but definitely lower than what they normally had in math. And then that continued on to pre-calculus honors as well. We see that pattern happen over and over again. And these are really good students. They're good at math, they're diligent students, but that does not take away the fact that they are replacing 40 weeks of quality in-seat math instruction with a couple weeks in the summer virtual program intended for credit recovery, especially if they are in the honors track, because we don't have honors math in the summer. So instead of taking 40 weeks of geometry honors, this student is taking 6 weeks of regular virtual credit recovery and trying to double skip into Algebra 2 honors. This is not a situation of a student not being good at math. It's not a situation of, oh, well, mom is a math professor at a university and we have a tutor that can work with them. That does not replace 40 weeks of quality math instruction with our highly effective teachers in our building. So the point is definitely just to inform. We think it would be negligent to just let students think that because other students have chosen this path, that they're being successful, because that's just not the case for most of our students. So there are occasional times where this path might work. Maybe if someone moved into the district and placement was maybe not perfect, and they really do know the material, a test out is probably the best way to prove that. What I would not want to see is a student not pass the test out and then say, well, since I studied so much, I'll just take it in summer school and I'll be okay. Because this shows us that they're not. Our Calculus BC teacher told us yesterday that this year he has the most failures in Calc BC that he's ever had. 100% of those students with those low grades did an advancement skip in summer school. And these are really great students. If they would have stayed the course, these are transcripts of students who had Algebra 1 honors in 8th grade and did not take summer school for advancement. And whether they chose to continue with the honors path, like up here in the corner, or if they chose to go into the regular pathway, they continued with a really strong math foundation and performed really well consistently all the way through their 4 years of high school. Better for their GPA, better for their mental health, better for their understanding of math before they head off to college. So just really something to think about. Please do not make that decision lightly. Our math teachers, our whole department of math teachers and the counseling office would just really advise you to think pretty critically about that and talk with the student's math teacher or counselor if you have any questions. You might have seen on the way in our new career development facilitator, Ms. Aparna Iyer. She is here promoting our apprenticeship program wall. Lots of wonderful opportunities for families, and she is one of you. She has an 8th grade student at Bolin. So she needs about 15 more signatures. We would love at the conclusion of tonight, if some of you wouldn't mind, please walking down the hallway. Down, you'll get to see our entire fine arts hallway, and at the end, scan the QR code and just sign a piece of paper for her. That would be wonderful. On one hand, you get to get great information about CTE programs, our career and technical education. On the other hand, you get to help out a fellow 8th grade parent. And finally, we also get funding. So if she gets a couple more signatures and people to scan the QR code, it will take 5 minutes of your time, and that is easy money coming into our school for our students, right? Yeah. Okay, so just to reiterate kind of our process going forward, we are so lucky to be in the Troy School District. Everything we do for students through the counseling office is really individualized. Most districts don't have individual counseling meetings with all their students. This year, I've worked in the high school for 22 years. This is the first time that I am also one of you. My child is in the class of 2030 as well. I have absolutely no idea anything about how they do things at their school. So I'm feeling just like you, they have different graduation requirements and different ways to sign up, but they just do everything as a group. It's like, here you go and sign up. And our district really values that individualized approach and staff our counseling office appropriately so we have the time and ability to meet with every student. We will have a 10-minute meeting with every 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th grader about their schedule for next year. And so we take that time to meet them, to look at their current grades and classes that they're taking, to ask about their interest, their future goals, maybe just goals for high school or goals with college and career. It's fun to hear the 8th graders talk about what they think they're going to do when they graduate. It is a really fun experience. It's our first time that we get to meet them. And when they are seniors, we'll be the ones writing their letters of recommendation, and we want those to be authentic. Oftentimes, I will go back when I'm writing a letter of rec and write about the first time I met them in middle school. So we want parents, it's kind of time to scoot over to the passenger seat and let students kind of take that first bit of responsibility. So we want them kind of taking the lead with scheduling. We're gonna present this same information to them Thursday and Friday at their middle schools. They're gonna come home with a packet of materials for you. Hopefully they're very excited. They're gonna have started their planning guide with us during the day, and then they'll come home. You'll go over these things together, input them into PowerSchool. If you have any questions between now and our individual meetings, start with the middle school counselors. Have students, there's a spot on the planning guide that they can write down questions for my counselor. And then we'll actually have them write down the answers so that they can bring them home to you. And then once you get that, if you think, I don't know if you asked that question right, or that wasn't the answer I was expecting, please reach out to us, and then we can definitely help with anything after that. Even though PowerSchool, the window for scheduling closes for parents, it does not close for counselors until like mid-May. So we can make any necessary or preferred changes if a mistake was made. That is not really set in stone until before we leave for summer break. And then those are kind of locked in. But up until that point, we can make any changes. If a student thinks, oh, I really thought that I was going to take geometry honors, but after I had like third marking period, I'm thinking maybe regular geometry is a better fit for me, then they can message us, or you can message us, or they can message us while you're sitting next to them. Every 8th grader is different, right? They all need those different levels of support. So then we can make that change. So we can do that. Next week on March 5th, we will be going to Baker Middle School in the morning and meeting with every student individually. And then we'll be going to Smith. And the next day, March 6th, we will be going to Bolin. And then we might have a couple students at Larson, and we will coordinate with our counselors over at Larson to make sure that we can meet those students as well. We do not have our caseloads for the fall for the class of 2030 set yet for counselors. Sometimes those change a little bit from year to year. We sort of just go off the year ahead of them for a little bit, but whatever counselor your student meets with, it might not be their counselor in the fall. I mean, some of us, like, if it's an A, then it's gonna be Mr. Keegan. He always has the beginning of the alphabet, and if you're a Z, you're with me. We're at the end of the alphabet, but sometimes there's a little shifting in the middle. We are all giving them the same information. We are all giving them the same amount of time. You can reach out to that current caseload, but just so you know, in the fall, if it shifts to a different counselor, they won't be surprised, and hopefully you won't be surprised, but they will be getting the same experience no matter which counselor they're working with. All right, so there's really no opportunity. All of our students are so different and so unique. Like I said, this process is so individualized that it's impossible for us to answer questions that would apply to everyone. So we ask that you have your student write down the questions on the planning guide, bring those to us for our individual meetings, and we will answer those questions for them then. And like Ms. Hauberg said, please use your middle school counselor as an excellent expert resource as well. That will conclude our program for the evening. And again, we are just asking for a couple good Samaritans and some parents who are also interested in CTE to follow Ms. Iyer over here to the side and go check out our CTE wall and learn about all of the programs we have. If you wanted to scan this QR code, this is just the slides from today. They'll be posted to the website as well, but these are just the slides that we went over together, and we look forward to meeting our students tomorrow. Have a good night.